you just have this monstrosity that's naked. And it's so wild.
Monsterio Elisu.
Monsterio Elisu. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. It is day 30. It is October 30th of our 31 days of Halloween here on the channel, and we have a very, very interesting movie that we just watched. First time for me, second time for Anthony. Watched it twice in just a day, right?
Yeah, we just watched it together, Calvin and I. I'd watched it last night. This was kind of a late add to our list.
Yeah, but it was being talked about a lot. We've heard a lot of really great things. So I was like, you know what? Let's try something new. This movie came out this year. It is called The Substance. This movie...
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
This movie is a trip. This movie is... I highly recommend watching this movie. I can't even explain what I just watched. We literally just watched it and came into here to record. Wow. A lot racing through my head right now. It's a very, very interesting movie. This movie is made by Coralie Fargate, and she did a superb job. I think this movie is insanely well done. Before we get too far into our review, please hit that like and subscribe button. And go over to patreon.com/thecalvincam. Join one of our 3 tiers over there. Help donate to the show. So, The Substance. Yeah, wow. I'm just like still processing.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah. This movie is definitely showing you the dark side of being famous and what it can do to your head. That's the most that I get out of this film. I'm like, it's beautiful. It's a beautifully shot movie. The shots are incredible. They're nice, big, wide shots that feel cold, but like the color in the shots pops so much that it just creates this like atmosphere that really, really is haunting. And I think that it is so interesting because it deals with just some of the craziest elements that I've seen. Almost some like hidden Hollywood objectives in this film. Just like, you get your higher up patriarchy-esque corporate sleazebags, and just what people who are famous have to go through in order to, I guess, feel some kind of like self-worth. So especially with our main character, who is played by Demi Moore, who I absolutely love. First movie I ever watched her in was Ghost. So
I saw Ghost, and then there's one I'll throw out of the hat from a long time ago. It's One Crazy Summer with Bobcat Goldthwait and John Cusack is in the movie.
That's
and
right.
She's like, I think that's her actorial debut. I'm not really sure, but don't quote me on that, and you could fact check me. But yeah.
I have seen that movie. I saw that a long time ago. And I also know her from G.I. Jane. So, but she did phenomenal in this movie. I think that she did a really great job, and especially working. It's really cool that a lot of elements play into just the cinematography of this film, acting and sound, especially the music. Like when it bumps, and it's cool because it like all correlates with the shots like really, really well. Just simple shots. What's cool about this, it's not really there's a few panning shots, but there's not a lot of panning shots. A lot of the shots in this movie are just tripod shots, like very still, very cold. I loved it. I thought it was really great. And the story, the story just is wild. So full spoiler alert. I will, we'll give a good spoiler alert for this episode just because this is a brand new movie. I'm sure not a lot of people have seen this. But basically the whole summary is that Demi Moore is being let go from her position as a television superstar, Pilates instructor of
Yeah, it
sorts.
seems like she's like a Pilates instructor.
And so she's being let go from her position because Hollywood wants the hot young talent, and they think that she is just too old to keep doing what she's doing. So then they put out a casting call for a new talent. And while Demi Moore gets into a car crash, she ends up at the hospital on her birthday, and she ends up being like examined by somebody who is a user of the substance. And
you get that connection late in the movie because there's an older man and you can see the connection. He has like a mark on his arm.
yeah,
And he tries to, ask her how she feels about, the substance and what, I mean, is she nagging at you? Like, that she is because she see that she's kind of exiting out of the spotlight and then her new self is coming into the spotlight. And I think she's a little bit jealous of it as well.
oh, absolutely. But yeah, so the substance then reaches out. Basically, this secret organization of sorts reaches out to her, offers her this drug that basically splits her personality into another physical body, and then she has to follow these steps in order to sustain both of her selves, as she lives her life. And so basically it's so crazy the way that it's done, because like when she injects the drug, she literally, like, another person exits her own body. And it's so weird. It definitely was giving me some alien flashbacks. But I was just like, holy shit, this is crazy. Her spine just like splits open and just this new body falls out. And then she's a younger, better version of her, quote unquote, version of herself. And she then goes and auditions for her own replacement part.
Yeah. The amount of flesh that's in this movie.
Oh my God.
It's just, it's crazy how much flesh is in this movie. Like, it accentuates it in like all of the shots.
Oh yeah. From the very beginning.
Yeah. And what Calvin mentioned earlier in the episode, the shot sequencing with the audio, it kind of like, I guess this one, like for Canes, it got like best screenplay. But I just thought the sequencing it works with everything, like with the pacing, with telling the story. I think just with the shot selection, as it starts in the beginning and then it just ends that way too.
Yeah, and it's really like I like that, like you said, the connections between just the amount of flesh that's being shown. I didn't even like think about that until just now, but like we get a shot of Demi Moore like completely naked, and then like just the progression of how much flesh is shown. Like then we see her new body naked. Then we see just like so much nakedness going on through the whole film, and in the very end, you just have this monstrosity that's naked. And it's so
Monsterio Elisu.
Monsterio Elisu.
And I was getting like I was telling Calvin, I said I was getting like Fly David Cronenberg like vibes from that part of it, like the way she looked when she came out after, she's so strung on being this famous star that she really doesn't care about her other self. It's like her former self. Like she kind of like brushes it in the closet, like building this. At first, it's so crazy. Like she leaves her other self on the floor of the bathroom, and then after a while, she builds like I said, like a closet and puts her in there, and it's just like it's so dark, and it just shows the just the forgetting this person even exists, and like it accentuates that with the shots. I mean, it just has everything in this movie. Like even Dennis Quaid's character, he's such a sleazebag. And that scene where he's eating shrimp and he's letting her know that he's trying to tell her that, you know, your old hat, we need some new blood in here. And just, you can see his greed, and it's just crazy. The gluttony, like with the shrimp.
Well, from the very beginning, he goes into the bathroom. He's on the phone while he's taking a piss. He doesn't wash his hands. He just like literally leaves the bathroom. He's a gross guy. Immediately goes into the next shot to eating the shrimp, and he's just digging away at it. And then he avoids answering this stupid, this like question that she asks, and he doesn't even wipe his hands. He just like hugs the other dude, and it's just like gross all over him. And I was just like, okay, this is a shit person.
Yeah, and then there's other elements you could see that, you know, she wants to be pretty again, and she doesn't know how to react to it. Like she meets a guy that she was in homeroom with, like back in the day in high school, and she gets his phone number, and then she just decides to go through her stuff, and then she gives him a call, but she reluctantly looks at the time, and I think she just evaluates like, I don't think I'm pretty enough to even go out with this guy.
No, yeah, she just like, it's the constant battle of going out, battling her own self, basically, because she knows there's a better version of herself.
And she's constantly reminded, because her billboard is like right outside of her apartment, and then it's just
very self-conscious person, and it's just really. I like this movie a lot. I like the story a lot, actually. I'm still thinking about it. Still trying to like
process
it. Like, this is definitely worth a watch. I can't even believe. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. There's a scene towards the end that has so much blood in it. It is insane. I was like, how much? And it never stops. It's just like constant blood, like spraying everywhere.
Yeah, and then just Monstro Elisu, like the way she looks. I mean, it's practical. It just looks really well done. Like I was telling Calvin again, I've got Thing vibes. I've got Leviathan vibes, like from what we did Leviathan early in the 31 days. Like it has all of that.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like the film hits a climax, and it just keeps going. And I was like, is this going to stop? And it just doesn't. It just keeps going. But it's not bad by any means. In my opinion, I think that it is all good. Like, even it keeping going is like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, and it kind of just ends where it starts. And I think that that's also beautiful metaphor in it. It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
It's definitely one of those movies that is on my list to like rewatch. It's a great movie, and I'd like to watch. I mean, this is my second time watching it, but I'd like to watch it again.
Oh, definitely! I can't wait to show my wife. Like, this is a weird one, but one that I know she'll like. So, let's rate this movie. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5. I think that there are parts that definitely are stronger than others. I think most of this movie is damn near perfect. Acting's great, cinematography's great, sounds great. The synchronization of all of it together is like perfect. There's a couple of things that I didn't like, and I think it's just because it's like this film takes itself really serious, but then has super, super campy moments. And it didn't really mesh well with me, because I was just like, okay, come on. Like for instance, when Demi Moore's character is an old hag, basically, and she is like, she would have no muscle to like move anything, and she moves the giant frame, and she moves her own body, and I was just like, okay. And then she runs when she runs to go get the termination package, I'm just like, you could barely get up off the fucking couch like with one bad leg, and now your whole body's fucked. Like, I don't think this is that practical to me. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5. That'll be my knock on it. Yeah, but all in all, I think this movie is fantastic. This is definitely worth your time. It's worth a watch. And I can't wait to watch it again. So, what would you give it?
I give it a 4. I like this movie. I thought it was really entertaining. From beginning to end, like I said, I don't want to reiterate, but it's kind of like part of this experience. Like I love the whole shot sequencing, just synchronicity with everything in this movie. Sound, it just tells the story as you're going through this too. It's just really, really well done. And I like like I said, I don't know how much of this is special effects. I don't know how much this is practical, but I like the morphing of Monstro Elisu. It's fantastic. So those are the strong points of this movie, and yeah, that's why it's a 4.
All right, cool. Now we have some fun facts.
Oh, I'm looking forward to these fun facts. I want to know some stuff about this movie.
Anything, so this is gonna be really interesting. And yeah, this movie was awesome. So let me pull those up real quick if there is any.
Please let there be fun facts.
There is indeed fun facts.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Ray Liotta was cast in this film in February 2022, but he died in May that year before he could film his scenes. So Dennis Quaid replaced him, but Liotta is still mentioned in the director's thank you notes during the ending credits.
Imagine if we would have got Ray Liotta. I love Ray Liotta.
Oh yeah, Ray Liotta, R.I.P. dude. My wife loved Ray Liotta. So. Margaret Qualley revealed in interviews that her breasts in the movie are not her own. They are prosthetics designed by French makeup artist Perry Oliver Pearson. Qualley stated, "Unfortunately, there is no magic boob potion, so we had to glue those on." So the director found an incredible prosthetic team to endow me with the rack of a lifetime. Just not my lifetime.
I mean, it was really well portrayed on screen. I mean,
a lot of flesh in this movie. Demi Moore said she was nervous about filming full nudity at age 61 and felt vulnerable, but she credited co-star Margaret Qualley, who was 29 at the time of filming and portrayed a younger version of her character, with making her feel comfortable on the set. Qualley also performed totally naked. Moore said she found someone who was a great partner who I felt very safe with. We obviously were quite close naked, and we also got a lot of levity in those moments at how absurd those certain situations were.
That's good to have a good sidekick in the movie.
Yeah. In the film, Elizabeth Sparkle turns 50 years old. Demi Moore, who portrays the character, was 61 years old at the time of shooting. So,
there's one thing in this movie, like I couldn't really catch the time period. I was kind of thinking it's 80s, but then when you see the Substance flash drive and then she puts in the TV, I kind of figured it's modern. So,
well, he was on a cell phone in the bathroom, so I was like, that was like the first indication of what time period we're in. So I was like, okay, cool. In several interviews, Demi Moore said that reading the script for the movie reminded her of the script for Ghost, because the chance that it could be amazing or a disaster was the same. That was crucial for her to accept the role.
That's cool.
This is the first body horror film ever to be permitted to screen in Vietnam, with only 1 minute and 30 seconds being cut, according to distributors.
Interesting. I guess sometimes gore is like banned in other countries, huh?
Oh yeah. There's tons and tons of censorship like all around the world.
It's probably amazing how much of the 80s gore and all those movies with all the practical effects that some of the stuff got banned.
You should see even basic movies, like basic Disney movies and stuff, completely altered in like China and stuff. It's crazy. Received the longest standing ovation out of all films shown at the 2024 Cannes Film Festival.
I can see why. It's we clapped at the end of this movie.
The scene where Sue reaches into her stomach and pulls out a chicken leg is a visual reference to David Cronenberg. In both Videodrome and Existence, he has characters reach into their stomachs and pull out guns in a very similar way. In Existence, the gun is actually made out of animal bones.
Yep.
So, yeah. You know what? I got one more. Last one for you. Director Coralie Fargit, speaking about the New Year's Eve audience at the end of the movie, said, "The audience for me represents society. A depicted Elizabeth's genuine dream, which is to be loved and by those people for who she really is. Having the explosion of blood and guts was a way to externalize the violence that I feel, all those gazes and this beauty pressure, and the beauty pressure put on us. It was a way for me to splatter it in the face of the audience to say, look at what you're creating. You are responsible for the explosion."
Wow. That's pretty deep.
Yeah. The movie's very deep. Like I said, like there's a lot of like messages about like fame in this movie. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Go watch The Substance. Go and rent it. This movie's awesome. So I definitely recommend it. So we'll see you on our last episode, Halloween, tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.